Off of the perk and the Xanakin, yeah. Walking the sky like a mannequin, yeah. Double G on me like mannequin, yeah. Make 'em freeze like the mannequin challenger, yeah. Me and Slack dealing the damage. Kidnap the children and murder the...
The Batman, as you know, is a movie about Batman. Is it good? Is it bad? It's pretty good. Like, honestly, in my opinion, it is one of the best Batman movies I've ever seen. And not talking the cartoons. The cartoons obviously are like amazing and they tell really good stories based off the comic books, and some of them are comically accurate because, you know, the animators just go hard. But for this being a real live action movie, it's pretty good. I know a lot of people have complained about it. I've heard of pretty good reviews, but I also heard pretty bad reviews. Pretty, you know, mixed reviews. That's like for every movie out there. There's always going to be someone that hates it. There's always going to be someone that likes it. Most of these people that are reviewing the Batman movie, they always compare it to like the comic books. Like this one specifically, people have been comparing it to the comic books, and I'm not really like into the comic. Like okay, don't get me wrong, I love the comics and I love like just reading comics, whether it's DC, Marvel, all of them are pretty good. But people need to stop comparing the comic books to the cartoons and the movies. I get that's where people are getting the inspiration from, like the directors and the screenwriters and whatnot, but these are three different things and they shouldn't be connected. The only things that should be connected are the characters' names, but sometimes even that gets fucked up. But it's alright because it's something different. People can have their different ideas, their different interpretations of what they're based off of, which is the comics. That's just something to look back on in case something gets fucked up in the movies or the cartoons. There's nothing really wrong with this movie. It's not like it killed the movie, but some stuff just didn't set right with me. This kinda is a spoiler review. I'm not gonna talk about everything that happens in this movie. I'm just talking about specific stuff. I'm on a rant right now and my nose is kind of stuffy, so I'm sorry. So there's a scene where Batman, and he's running away from the police and he takes off, but then later on in the movie the police just forget about the beef they have with Batman and they start working together with him. Like, I get it that Commissioner Gordon and Batman have their own little buddy cop thing, but I don't know, the rest of the police just seem to forget about him. Like the police chief just suddenly forgot about hunting Batman. A couple things could have been taken out the movie. Like, it didn't have to be as long as it is. You know, it's 3 hours, but it could have been like just maybe 2 hours in general at max. Like, some stuff just didn't need to be in there. It's like sometimes they dragged out a couple scenes, but it wasn't bad. You know, it didn't kill the movie. Like, I was still interested in watching 3 hours of this movie. There's nothing that really turned me off from it. There is one scene though that maybe you guys seen, and most people are pretty excited when they see this scene because it's not like in your face, but it's kind of in your face. Like, it's hard to explain. I kind of want to say it, but you know, when you see it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I know what he's talking about. It's Joker. It's Joker. Why are they adding Joker into the Batman movies? We've already seen him like fucking, who knows, like more than 3 times. This is nuts. We don't need to see Joker again. It's okay. Tell more stories of like other Batman villains. Like, he has thousands of villains in his rogue gallery, and they only choose to do like Penguin, Two-Face, Joker, Riddler. Like, let me see some Clayface or fucking Phantom of the or Mask of the Phantasm. I was having a little spasm right there. Or maybe get in like Man-Bat. I don't know. I want to see more than just the regular 5 we've already seen. Matt Reeves is talking about how he wants to do Mr. Freeze. I kind of don't want to see a Mr. Freeze story. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Heart on Ice. That's a pretty good movie. I never read the comics though, but the movie is amazing. All right, and I would love to see that like remade, but not with Matt Reeves' Batman. I don't think that Mr. Freeze would fit in with this world. Like, I feel like, I don't know, you have to do somebody like the mob boss. I don't know his name, but the mob boss that's a puppet. I feel like you can do him. You can maybe do Ra's al Ghul again. He's thinking of doing Quarter Owls too. I think that would be good, but they need to add Robin in there. They can't do just Batman. They have to do like, not Damian Wayne Robin, but just maybe a partner that he needs to work with. Like, if it's not Robin, maybe someone. He needs to work with someone. I don't think he can do that alone. It's like the equivalent of having Maximum Carnage or Let There Be Carnage and only adding Venom. Let There Be Carnage. Spider-Man, I feel like he could have saved that movie because, you know, he's in a comic, but I'm only one guy. Fuck my opinion. But the movie itself, yeah, this movie is not bad. I don't think this movie deserves any kind of hate. I don't want to sound like I'm dick riding anybody. I mean, honestly, people can have their own opinions, whether they like it or they don't. To me, this movie is just awesome. Amazing fight scenes. Just, it was so cool. Like, I've never seen a Gotham City so beat down, so, like, ugly, but beautiful at the same time. All the characters out here stood out, whether it was Penguin, Catwoman, or Batman. But Robert Pattinson, I never really was a fan of him. I seen him in Harry Potter. Like, it wasn't bad, but I wasn't really in love with the dude. Seen him in Twilight. I didn't really like Twilight, so I didn't associate with him. But just seeing him in Batman, I feel like he was kind of meant for this. Even if they don't use him in future movies, he still killed this whole solo Batman role. This is definitely his movie. He definitely made that movie. The other actors were fine when it came to the villains. I like Commissioner Gordon. I thought he was pretty good. But I think somebody definitely had a problem with Commissioner Gordon being black. But I don't mind. And they certainly didn't mind when Catwoman was black. So I really don't care if he's black or white. That means we might get a mix bet girl. Riddler's costume, Riddler, I don't know what to say about Riddler. He wasn't really cool. I mean, he was in the movie, and it's cool that he's fighting Riddler and whatnot, but his costume just, I don't know, looks like the Bloody Valentine villain costume. Like, no, I would not like that. There's like a hint of green on it, but that's the only like color in Gotham City other than red. Red and black really were the colors that I guess made it pop, or just the only colors that were on the color scheme. That's all they had. And then you got this fucking streamer live streaming, killing people, and he's wearing a hint of green with goggles, and he keeps breathing like, hey. Dude, that gets annoying sometimes. But I'm not hating. Maybe a little. This movie deserves a 9.5 out of 10 only because of the Riddler's performance and his color scheme. Like, just the whole Riddler design, not him as a character, but him as a design wasn't really like it wasn't really the Riddler. Like, this may be his own take of it, but it was more like Hush rather than the Riddler, because Riddler, he's more of a goofy guy. Okay, don't get me wrong, this guy was goofy, and he really did play like a Riddler part when he was out the costume, but with the costume on, he was just, I don't know, muffled. Like, he sounded like a more muffled Tom Hardy's Bane. Like, they should have just done another villain. Like, he was more like Jack the Ripper than the Riddler. Like, he would leave riddles, but that's the only closest part he got to being the Riddler. That was it. Now that I think about it, the Riddler kind of sucks. Like, I'm really just thinking about it right now. I might have to change my answer to a 9. But he's not in the whole movie, which is okay. They did add a couple more villains in there, but the Riddler was supposed to be the main villain, and he's like halfway in the movie. He didn't start becoming halfway in the movie, but he's only like in half of the runtime, which is still like an hour or something, but it feels like he's barely there. Other than that, this movie deserves a 9 down. Got me thinking. I still love this movie though. I still watch it over again. Maybe a couple of times. I wouldn't watch it like 24/7, but if it comes on, I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, I'm watching the Batman for 3 hours. There wasn't really nothing else to complain about for the movie for me. My fucking voice is annoying as shit. My nose is stuffy as shit too. But other than that, you can find me on all the social medias down in the link in the description below. If y'all really enjoyed this review, let me know with the like button. Click it. Don't click dislike. And subscribe if you want to. And until next time.